What's going on, Goodfellas Sports TV? We in the building. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon button. Won't miss another video from your boy. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Man, can't miss stuff. So we got a Facebook group as well. So check us out. All those links in the description. Appreciate everybody that do show love on those platforms as well, and show love right here on YouTube, man. But Lomachenko should face pressure to move up, because that's what we ask all the other great fighters to do, is move up and be great. De La Hoya, 35, 40, 47, 54, 160. Tommy Hearns, 47, 54, 60, 68, 75, and as high as cruiserweight. So Floyd Mayweather, 130, 135, 140, 147, 154. Pacquiao, so many weight classes. So Paul Williams, 147, 154, 160. Sergio Martinez, I think he might start at 147, but got a title of 54, moved to 160. So we asked multiple fighters to move up and be great. And why should it be any different from Lomachenko? Why should we accept the excuse that, oh, he's too small to move up? I'm not trying to accept that. At the end of the day, if you're truly great, you should be able to go up another weight class and do your thing. But let me say this before I get into this video. Lomachenko should have never left 130. Let me just say that. 130 had way more potential than 135, and let me explain that. Now, if he stayed at 130, it would be no reason to move up to 35 right now, okay? 130, obviously a Tevin Farmer fight was out there. He around here moving like he a boss, but he's an employee. The Ito fight is out there for him. The Burchett fight is out there. Machado fight is out there. Also, Gary Russell wants a rematch. I think that will sell. He can easily come over to ESPN for that. He's a promotional free agent. And Lomachenko came over to Showtime, I think before PBC was formed, and took a vacant belt out the grass of his hands. So that would make sense. Leo Santa Cruz said he would love to fight Lomachenko. I know I'm laughing too. If they can make it happen at 130, I mean, Abner Mares, I mean, Carl Frampton, all these different dudes. I mean, he would have had the pick of his litter. He could have really sculpted his legend there, and there would be no need for him to move up to 135 or be asked to move up from 135 to 140. It would be no need, okay? He would have everybody at his disposal, including Gervonta Tank Davis, and pressure him to unify with him or pressure him to fight him. So he'd have had the pick of his litter. That was the stupidest move to move him up to 35, especially when he comfortably could make 130. And he could have carved out his niche and became a legendary fighter at 130, because he had the names at 26 coming to 130, and he had names at 130 to keep him busy until he retired, and he just moved up to 135 and grabbed the title, unified, and just rolled off into the sunset, because 35 haven't been hot in a long time. I remember Brandon Rios fought Anthony Peterson, and he became the king of the division, even though Ricardo Abreu, I think, outboxed Brandon Rios. He got a gift decision, but that's no here, no there. They thought Abreu and Miguel Vasquez was very bland and boring. But now that he moved up to 35, he has moved back down to 130, which I don't think he's willing to do, or move to 140. I mean, at the end of the day, if Mikey come back down, that's cool, and then he become undisputed. But after he become undisputed, let's say Comey get the IBF title, fight Lomachenko, Luke Campbell get a vacant WC belt for Mikey, and he fight all of them, he get all the belts. At the end of the day, then what? People going to be looking at you like, who did you beat? You're still going to have naysayers. So at the end of the day, it's going to be some pressure to move up to 40. Even if Gervonta Tank Davis do move up to 35 and he beat him, I mean, that's one guy. At the end of the day, you will have, what, let's say 15, 16, 17 pro fights by then. You still got a long road to go before you mention with Pernell, you mention with Mosley, you mention with Mayweather, you mention with De La Hoya, you mention with Trinidad, you mention with Hearns and Aaron Pryor and Alexis Aguero. You got a long way to go. So still, at some point in time, no matter how you guys want to finesse it, you can use the excuse that he too small. Pacquiao didn't use that excuse. That excuse was never used for Mayweather. He was weighing at 150, fighting guys at 54. That excuse was never used for Oscar De La Hoya when he got knocked out by Bernard with a liver shot, I think it was, versus Bernard Hopkins. Sometimes you got to test your own limit. A loss is a loss. We understand he got a loss. But at some point, he got to move up. All right? He going to have to move up. He shouldn't have never moved up to 35. That was the problem. But they just didn't see an opportunity at 35 to give him a belt. You know what I'm saying? They had no other prospect that can get that 135-pound WBO belt, because they knew Verdejo couldn't get it and hold it. They knew somebody was going to knock off Beltran. So pretty much they moved Lomachenko up to 35 to hold that 35-pound belt until they find a successor. You know what I'm saying? A predecessor. Okay. Then they figured at 130, if you asking, Christopher Diaz can get that belt and beat Ito. Now he moved. I think he got beat by Ito, and now he might be moving down the weight. So they didn't have a person, Felix Verdejo. He couldn't hold down that belt because what they wanted to do is have Lomachenko probably fight Tank or unify with somebody at 130. Verdejo hold the 140-pound belt, move Lomachenko up to 140, possibly put him in there with Linares at some point. Get that belt from Linares, whoever held the WBA belt, and then possibly unify it with a big fight between a rematch from the Olympics or in the amateurs, excuse me, between Lomachenko and Felix Verdejo. But it didn't work like that. You know, so now they put him in a position. Yes, it should be pressure on Lomachenko to move up. Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, if Mikey don't come back down, the Tank don't come back up, in like next year or year and a half, or I'd say 2 years. What to each his own. Okay? You know, just as any other fighter faced pressure, just as Mayweather faced pressure. Hearns faced pressure. Only guy that didn't face that pressure was Marvin Hagler to be exact. You know, and that's just the way it is, man. He's no Ukrainian Jesus. He's not above that respect line. It's not like he like Pacquiao. He moved up several weight classes, and we know he done tapped out. He can't go no further. It's not like asking Floyd to go to 160. This dude moved from 26 to 30 to 35. And if you claiming to be the pound for pound number one, well, if it ain't no cat pillars in your area, your division, then you got to move up and find somebody. If you great, you should be able to beat the Regis Progression, Josh Taylor or Jose Ramirez, right? Or Maurice Hooker. Floyd did it. Okay? Martinez made a living of beating bigger guys at 160. Tommy Hearn, Roberto Duran moved from 35 to 160 and battled Marvin Hagler. He lost, but we still respected him because of his valiant effort. Excuse me. Okay? Canelo moving up again. So why shouldn't it be required for Lomachenko to move up and test his greatness? Now, I'm not asking him to move up right now, but I said once he unify the division and become undisputed, because I think that's inevitable right now, unless Mikey come back down, then what's the crime of asking him to move up? I don't want to hear you too small. Because very few boxers have been asked, you know, that excuse work for. That excuse don't work for him. Okay, we're not asking him to move up to 47. You know, I think that's a bit much. We asking him to be a five weight class champion, but I don't think it's that much to ask to be a 4. It's not that much. I'm not saying now, but in the future, a year or two. And I think he said he'd like to move up in a year or two. So that excuse that, Lomachenko can't move up because he's too small, horse shit, hogwash. We're not rocking like that, bro. We're not using that excuse. Not in 2018, not going in 2019. Move up to be great. Now, anything beyond that, I'd agree. But at some point, when we know historically, recent history, 135 lightweight ain't been popping. It ain't been popping. That's why Terrence Crawford didn't stay there too long. You know, but hey, at the end of the day, I guess they can wait for Burchett. Tevin Farmer talked about moving up. Tank started moving up. So, I mean, that's why you wait a year or two. You know, I'm not saying immediately now, and people going to take and say, Goodfellas said he should move. No, in a year or two. You know, if Tank and Tevin and Burchett don't move up, Machado don't move up, then you got to do what you got to do. You know, at 140, you'll never know who'll be there. Teofimo Lopez could be there. He could be experienced and veteran savvy. Devin Haney could be experienced as veteran savvy at 140. Virgil Ortiz, Virgil Ortiz, that Robert Garcia fighter. You know, Jose Ramirez, I don't believe he moving up no time soon. He was a 132-pounder in the Olympics. Okay, I think Regis and Josh Taylor can be moving up. Hooker could be there. Terry Flanagan still be there. Jorge Linares should be there for a rematch. So, some possibilities for him, man. Let me know what y'all think about it. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's it. Facebook and Twitter. Hit me up in the email. Want to make a donation to the channel. That link's there as well. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Appreciate everybody that do donate. Mr. White, Phillip, Denard Reed, Mr. Robinson. I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully I ain't missed nobody. My brother Todd Foster as well. Y'all know what it is. Salute one time for the one time. We gone.